Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending our webinar on Learn How to Improve Your Data Recovery Time. I'm Sine Johnson, and I'll be your moderator for today. Just a few housekeeping rules. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box, and we'll answer those questions for you. And there will be a Q&A session at the end. So we'll go ahead and get started. So our agenda for today, first I'll introduce our two speakers, Greg Onofreko and David Smith. We'll go over an overview of e-ternity, talk about the top 3 concerns regarding cloud backup, go over a cloud backup overview, and then talk to you a little bit about our e-ternity Recovery Center solution. So let's get started. Our objectives for today are to help you guys understand some common steps to implementing a cloud backup recovery and restore solution, help you understand how data recovery typically works with the cloud model, and help you to understand how a cloud backup system service guarantees data security. First, I want to introduce our two speakers. We have Greg Onofreko, who is the President and Managing Director of Sales for e-ternity. And we also have David Smith, who is Vice President of Partner Sales for Segra. Greg draws on 2 decades of business experience, including senior management and executive positions at companies including Ricoh and EMC Corporation. And his focus within e-ternity includes managing the day-to-day business operations, driving revenues from a sales perspective, and providing overall strategic direction for the organization. With an eye on the latest technology and a penchant for risk-taking, Greg is recognized as a visionary within the industry and is often asked to speak at conferences and events, write articles for business publications, and participate on advisory councils such as Ingram Micro's Service Advisory Council for Cloud Services and Segra's Partner Advisory Council. David is the Vice President of Partner Sales for Segra, and he brings 25 years of business development leadership and executive experience to Segra, having helped numerous world-class organizations grow and scale their business. Smith joined Segra from Platform Computing, where he was responsible for the global ISV business unit, successfully growing the unit by a CAGR of 33% over 5 years. Prior to Platform, Smith was Senior Director of Business Development for Pure Edge, an eForm software company that was acquired by IBM in 2005. Smith earned his MBA from Schulich School of Business in Toronto, as well as an MA from Kent State University and a BAA from Ryerson University in Toronto. And with further ado, I'll hand it over to Greg.
Thanks very much, Sine, and I appreciate all the participants for joining today. We're hopefully going to share a lot of interesting information about the cloud backup market and the e-ternity service featuring Segra. Just a quick introduction on e-ternity. We were founded in 2004, and our whole focus is business continuity solutions. So we're experts at keeping other organizations up and running 24/7 despite any disaster or threat. We've got a lot of experience. A lot of our consultants and employees have years, decades of experience helping companies with these types of tasks. We've got a proven track record. We get a lot of great vendor partners such as Segra, and we're fortunate to have a number of great customers as well, serving as references and case studies and that sort of thing. And we've also done fairly well getting external recognition. We've received awards and recognition from other organizations such as Segra. We've been Partner of the Year with Segra for a couple of different years. We've received awards from Ingram Micro, from CRN, from Talking Cloud, just to name a few, and we're proud of those achievements. That is e-ternity.
And over to you, David.
Thank you very much, Sine. Thank you for the invitation and opportunity to present today, and welcome to all of our participants. I'd like to start with a big overview of Segra, the company, what we do. We are really a pioneer in this marketplace. We've been around for 25 years, and we did cloud backup before there was really a formal cloud out there. We started our technology designed specifically for this scenario, and over the past few years, as the cloud into its own, it's been an absolute perfect fit for our technology, and so that's why we're seeing the kind of growth and adoption that we're seeing in the marketplace. Our go-to-market model is specifically around service providers who drive out, like e-ternity, various services as part of a cloud backup and a business continuity offering. Our technology really is around a comprehensive platform. It's not a niche technology designed to do very specific things. It's a broad platform. And we lead the industry around security, scalability, and the ability to support everything from mobile devices to entire data centers. Covering off that many data points for you is really one of the core elements as to why it's considered a platform, because it can deal with any part of your business and all parts of your business. We're really founded on the premise that it's about recovery, not backup. It's about recovery, which is really crucial to ensuring your business can be successful and maintain operations going day by day, week by week, month by month. As an organization, we've been recognized by many different analysts out there. We're on the Gartner Magic Quadrant. Forrester Group has written up about us, 451 as well, as has ESG. And we've won numerous awards. For example, the 2012 Product of the Year Award from Storage Magazine for our very innovative licensed server. And if you want more details on that, you should really talk to Greg at a later point in time. Now, in the cloud market, and before I move on, I want to make sure everybody understands and realizes that we've got a substantial install base out there, 550,000 global installations of our technology with a lot of very high-end premier brands and organizations have adopted our technology. So, as I said, we've been around for 25 plus years. We've got a branded offering, and it's something that really is going to be something that I believe will add value to your organization. Anyway, in terms of the cloud market, we see some core trends happening out there, and the first one is crucial to us. It's around systems modernization. A lot of CIOs, IT shops, and IT leaders in organizations are looking to ensure that they can effectively re-architect their backup infrastructure to provide service level expectations on critical applications. Now, why is this so important now? Well, as we're going through this evolution in our marketplace over the past few years, 5 or 10 years, what we're seeing is the critical applications, those that run your business and are mission critical, are more tightly coupled than ever before. And this is really about the optimization process that many organizations have gone through to make themselves more cost competitive. Well, this has got a significantly higher potential for a domino effect on your systems and any kind of delays in that. The more tightly coupled they are, the more that you need to make sure that you've got a modernized backup and recovery system that's going to be able to address and identify these problems as they happen, so you can very quickly restore operations, very quickly get data files that are lost, those kinds of things. Another key trend, and we've seen this for many years, and it's not abating at all. It's not slowing down. Data volumes continue to grow. This is something that's continuing to challenge IT leadership to ensure that all of their mission-critical data is identified and it's managed with suitable retention policies. The more that you can look at this as an opportunity to create specific policies that comport towards any compliance regulations or frameworks you have to deal with, manage the data to make sure that whatever is active data needs to be recovered within a certain time frame is what's actively maintained and not put off into some sort of an archival process. The more that you can spend your time focusing on that, you are then protecting a very valuable asset of your organization. Now, our market's evolving. These processes are becoming part of applications and operating systems. And one of the things that Asegra sees in the marketplace is that backup and recovery is starting to become, and will become even more so, an attribute of the computing experience. You shouldn't have to worry as an organization, oh, have I done this or that to ensure that my data is backed up? That shouldn't be part of your concerns. It should be automated. It should be subject to the setting of policies. It should be part of that complete computing experience so that you know that you've got the data protected, backed up, and available to be recovered should you hit some sort of a problem. Mobility. And actually the whole concept around the consumerization of IT. In fact, as your organizations are evolving with consumer devices, as the employees that work in your firms are dealing with and managing their own devices for their own personal needs, they're also bleeding over into business needs. And as your business is actually sponsoring the adoption of smartphones, tablets, and laptops to support your business, that's further exacerbating the issue, which is you have data assets that are leaving the walls of your organization every day, week, month, for various purposes, business and personal. And as a consequence, the assets that run your business, should you have any form of data loss, need to be recoverable. And if you don't have a strategy around this, this whole trend is starting to accelerate rapidly. We're starting to see the need for IT leadership to look at this as something which is going to protect their business going forward, and there's a need to act on this fairly quickly now before this gets too far extended in terms of this ongoing trend. So these really do reflect the core trends of what we see happening in the cloud backup market today. So Greg, back to you.
Sure. Thanks very much, David. You know, there's a lot of concern over, you know, data protection and really disaster recovery in general. There's been a whole bunch of polls done, and they all tend to say the same thing. It doesn't matter when they're done or who completes the polls, but there's a lot of concern over the ability to recover from a disaster. A number of organizations are concerned with that ability, and frighteningly, there are a number of organizations that have actually experienced disasters. And from our experience over the years, that's really when companies take action, just when they've actually experienced an outage, they've lost some data, they've lost some business productivity, that's when they're most vulnerable, and that's when they tend to take action to protect their business. But the very best time to take action is before a disaster happens. So I think we'll pause here. Sine, you want to conduct our very first survey question?
Yes, so we'd like to know from the audience what your biggest concern regarding your existing data backup solution is. So is it data recovery and restore, reliability of tape or disk backup, loss of data, or recovery time? So I'll give you guys a few minutes to answer the poll question.
Organizers and panelists can't vote? All right.
Nope.
I'll refrain.
Okay.
Are we going to share the results on the spot, or are we going to save them till the end tonight?
We're going to share them on the spot. Just waiting for a few more people to vote. Okay, so I'm going to close the poll now. And here are your results. So, 50% of you said that data recovery and restore was your top concern. 25% said reliability of tape or disk backup, and 25% said recovery time. So we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about those issues in the next part of the webinar. Okay. Greg, back to you.
Okay. Perfect. So thank you. Common backup challenges. I mean, this probably isn't new information for the folks on the call. Data protection is certainly a challenge. You know, I've been in the IT business for a long time. I used to work for EMC once upon a time, and there were always concerns in the storage world about backup windows. The time to backup just got increasingly large. And just being able to complete those backups successfully has always been a concern. Risk management, security is always at the top of any concerns, especially around any type of cloud-based solution. Security always tops the polls for people. They're concerned when their data ends up sitting elsewhere outside of their four walls. So that's understandable. And total cost of ownership. Certainly, as data increases, it gets more expensive to store data when it's in large volumes, and everything's got to make sense financially. One of the I guess the promises that cloud brings is that it's often misperceived to be cheaper than on-premise solutions. That's not always the case. Certainly with the topic of data backup and cloud backup. Hopefully that it is a cost-effective way to do it. We always say that it's not necessarily cheaper to do it in the cloud, but we feel it's a far superior solution, and we'll explain more very shortly. So why cloud backup? Well, the reasons are on the slide there. One of the biggest priorities for organizations is to get their data off-site. The old method of doing data backups was, obviously doing it to tape or even to disk, but the problem always remained getting the data off-site. Over the years, I've seen a lot of different solutions, everything from people taking these tapes and disks home and storing them in their closet, to hiring outside, third parties to do pickups and deliveries of disks and tapes. Cloud automatically gets that data offsite, which is one of the best benefits of it. It's automated, it's secure, it happens automatically so people don't have to worry about it. And most importantly, the restoration process is a piece of cake. We'll talk more about that soon. So some other points around cloud backup. Data protection is paramount. Obviously, backing it up to the cloud keeps it safe and secure, and makes it accessible at all times. Next slide, Sinead. Reducing the risk. Again, back to its security. It's always tops the polls for concerns with people using the cloud. With the Secret technology specifically, they've got all the certifications. They're literally one of the most secure platforms in the world when it comes to protecting that data and keeping it secure. It's encrypted at all times, and I will talk about that shortly as well. And finally, reducing costs. So it's got to be cost effective. We've already said it's a superior solution, and it automatically gets data off-site and everything, but it does have to be cost effective, and Seeger has made that very easy to achieve, and we'll explain how that works when we talk about our recovery center service. So I'd like to introduce you to e-ternity Recovery Center. This is e-ternity's cloud backup and recovery service powered by Seeger. So really, e-ternity Recovery Center brings together three organizations: e-ternity as the Canadian leader in services, Seeger as the cloud backup software platform, and Savvis as the data center, the actual facility where the infrastructure is protected and where the data resides. So e-ternity Recovery Center, it's actually a simple process. How it actually works is, first of all, e-ternity will install an appliance, a hardware device, preloaded and pre-configured with the Seeger software, and it resides on-premise at the customer site. Okay, so the solution will back up any server, any laptop, any desktop computer, or any mobile device. The appliance actually does all the work. It does the backup and restoration process. The first step is actually backing up the data, and what the solution does is it performs the first backup. It protects all of the data. So we do a complete backup the first time. We do a manual import into our data center, into the Savvis facility. So we get all of the data in one shot, and then all the data backups from that point forward are just the incrementals, just the changes from the day before. The Seeger technology, and we never complete a full backup again. It's not necessary. It's a very efficient process. So all the data goes over the internet. Typically it's done in the middle of the night once a day, but you can back it up as often as you like. But the backups are done over the internet. It gets parked in our secure vault at the Savvis facility, and everything is encrypted before it actually leaves the customer premise. Okay, so the data is encrypted. It's compressed and deduplicated before it leaves the premise as well. Another concern we hear from customers quite often is the amount of data being sent over the internet. Everyone's concerned about their internet connection being too small and getting bogging the network down. But the Seeger technology is efficient in that it really squishes the data down. So there's not a lot of data that actually travels over the internet on a nightly basis. Very efficient, and you don't need a large bandwidth connection to perform these backups. So all the backups happen. They sit securely in the Savvis facility, but the cool part about the service is not how the backup works, it's actually how the recovery works. So you have a number of different recovery options. If there is a situation where a file gets deleted or a system goes down and crashes and you've got to restore an entire system, the first option that we look at to restore your data is to do it from the local appliance. So the local appliance that we install on site also has the option to store local data backups. Okay, so not the entire data store doesn't get left behind. All of the data resides at the e-ternity data center, but some of the data, the most recent backups, actually reside on site at the customer premise, and that's the first place we look whenever we're restoring data. If it's residing on site, it will do a local restore over the local network. That's the fastest and most efficient way to restore data. The second option is actually to get it back over the internet. So if the data is not residing locally and we do have to restore it from the e-ternity vault, then we will send it over the internet if it's a small enough file. In the event that the restore is a large file, several gigabytes or terabytes, it would just simply take too long to send back over the internet. In that case, we will either ship a USB drive with the data on it, or actually have one of our consultants deliver it in person and assist with the restoration process on site. So that's the way we would restore large files or entire systems. The other option is if the customer premise is not available, it's, the building is on fire, the building's collapsed, or just all the systems have crashed, and there is absolutely no option to restore back to the customer site, then we do provide the option of restoring into the e-ternity cloud, and that option is called e-ternity Recovery Center Plus. Sinead?
Mm-hmm.
So e-ternity Recovery Center Plus, as I said, provides the option to restore your systems into the e-ternity cloud, not back to the customer premise. So we've packaged in a premium option that really includes 4 different components. e-ternity Planning Center provides a step-by-step recovery process, planned, detailed documentation, instruction guide, training by our staff to the customer staff, monthly updates to the documentation, and annual testing. The service also includes the backup itself with the Secret platform. It provides the option to have on-demand cloud servers available for restoration, powered by e-ternity Skyscape, and it provides a secure network, pre-configured network, firewall protection, advanced security protection, so that the network is always secure, blocking out viruses and hackers. And what we essentially do is pre-connect our cloud to the customer site, so that it's one less thing they got to worry about. In the event of a crisis, we're not burning hours trying to figure out how to connect everybody up. All the users are pre-connected in advance, and the users will just connect to the e-ternity cloud instead of their own premise. The users obviously don't notice any difference. They just keep working, and what it does is it buys the customer IT team time to restore everything, get whatever's broken fixed, and then we resync it, and business goes back to the usual process. Sinead? So we've compared our service to the some other leading services out there. Certainly everyone's heard of IBM and Amazon, Rogers. And we got more check marks than the other guys, so that usually means we get a better service. You can see for yourself, we stack up pretty well against those other guys. So in summary, why move your disaster recovery to the cloud? You're relying on third-party experts to protect your data. You're outsourcing that, so it's reducing the labor burden on your existing staff. You're eliminating capital technology investments, so it eliminates the need to buy software, buy hardware, and manage the solution on-premise by the customer staff. It eliminates real estate requirements. You no longer have to worry about extra space at the building for to store these tape systems and disk systems. Sinead? And you can align your IT infrastructure costs with your business cycles. So it is a monthly fee-based service. And as your data grows, you just keep paying your monthly fees. And we're never asking you to buy any equipment or do any capital expenditures whatsoever. The whole point is to make recovery in the cloud as easy as possible. And of course, we offer a test drive. So for anybody who's interested in taking a look at the service, we offer a no strings attached opportunity to test our service out. We will install the service. We'll run it for a 30-day period. And at any time during the first 30 days, it's a free evaluation, so anybody can cancel at any time, and they'll never see an invoice from us. Beyond the 30-day mark, we do start invoicing at that point in time, but they do have up to the end of the 90 days to cancel with no further financial obligation. So we try to make it as easy as possible for people to go ahead, test out the service, build up their confidence that this is the right fit, and we very, very rarely have anybody pull out within that first 30 days. And I think that might be a wrap.
Yep. Great. So thanks, Greg and David. That was great information. I'm now going to open up the floor and to any questions. Okay, so we have a couple of questions. So the first question is, what about sensitive documents?
Question for Greg or David?
Whoever can answer.
For sensitive documents, I'm not sure exactly what the person is asking, but again, as far as privacy goes and security, when that data is backed up, it is encrypted before it leaves the customer premise. So what that simply means is that the customer actually creates the password. The customer creates the key to protect that data. So there's no chance of anybody stealing that data or intercepting it in flight. The data is useless to anybody else. If you don't have that password, if you don't have that key, you can't unlock and unscramble that data. So there's no way for anybody to gain access to any information. So any information, any data that is backed up with the secret technology is protected in that manner.
Okay, and then we had another question about guarantee. Is there any guarantee? So I'm going to open up the mic so that the person that answered the question can give us a little more detail about what exactly they wanted to know. Okay. So Nassim, I believe you had a question about the guarantee.
Yeah, like what's the guarantee that nobody else is gonna hack the system or steal the documents? Like we hear this from all the sources that documents are being stolen.
Greg, you want to take that? So the question was, what's the guarantee that the cloud backup is secure and that it can't be accessed by someone that unauthorized people? Sorry, Greg, I think you were muted. Can you start again?
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Thanks very much. I was talking. I had the answer all finished up there. Anyways, thanks for the question, and I'm not sure that we actually have a guarantee per se, but there's really no need for a guarantee. The data is encrypted. The customer is the only one who has the key or the password to get to that data. So there's no way anybody else can intercept it. I don't know if the Seeger guys, David, if you want to comment on the FIPS compliancy, the certification for the security, but it's as secure as it gets in this business. David, any comments about the security? David on mute. Did we lose David today? Sinead, we still going? Hello? I apologize if you guys can hear me. I'm not sure what happened to our audio. I think Sinead and or David may have dropped.
Yep.
Sinead, you back?
Sorry, yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so we had another question, and the question was, is it actually public and private AES keys?
Can you repeat the question, Sinead?
Is it actually public and private AES keys?
David?
I think we've lost David. Sorry, we'll have to get back to you on that one, Goran. We apologize. Okay. So, were there any more questions that we can answer for you today? Okay. Sounds like that's about it. Well, I want to thank everybody for attending the webinar. I want to thank our panelists, Greg and David. And we look forward to speaking with you again. If you have any other questions concerning cloud backup or recovery, feel free to contact Greg directly, and everyone will receive a copy of the recorded webinar. Thanks
very
everyone.
much.